Amy and is a podcast that explores all kinds of bookish things, and that can include some pretty adult content. So please be aware that some of this content will be not safe for work or for young ears, and be careful who's listening when you are. Welcome back to Amy and. I'm Amy Matthews. I am here today with Harry Stewart.
Hi.
Millie Heffernan.
That's me.
Peyton Hogan.
Hi.
And Abby Guy.
Hey.
Hey guys. We're meeting as always on Kaurna land, beautiful Kaurna land in Titania, Adelaide. And we'd like to pay our respects to elders past and present, and to acknowledge that this is a country of storytelling and knowledge through storytelling that goes back for tens of thousands of years, and we're honoured to be part of it today. And we'd also like to extend our respects to any First Nations people also listening to us today. We're doing Queer Sci-Fi Month. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Happy Pride.
It is winter here, and it's cold and it's wet and it's kind of evening, and it's at the end of semester, and half of this crew have just done PhD milestones of some kind, and I'm mid-marking, so we're all a little low energy, but I'm sure we'll get going as this goes along.
We should have got a scotch.
Which I should have. But okay, well, that leads us nicely to the snacks. All I did was get tea because this book, she's always making tea and drinking tea and throwing tea.
I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but I did make tea.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That's
because
good.
I have the vodka we used, so it felt rude to not make the drink as the only one who has the sparkly vodka.
Sparkly vodka.
Yeah, for everyone listening, it's a shimmery, sparkly vodka, and it's bright, hot pink.
It's very...
Go the guys.
It's very sweet from memory.
It's super sweet. It's bubblegum or something. I'm not a fan, but I'll drink it. I'll get like...
I'm
Not a fan of what, Abby? The gays.
I heard it.
So Peyton actually did make our snack, which Millie, if you haven't checked out our socials, have a look, because we did actually make the drinks and snacks, and it's up on our socials. So do you want to describe what we're looking at here? Oh, you made it too, Abby. Everyone made it.
I made popcorn drizzled in chocolate, so not really, but
it's close.
Close enough.
I
like
think
that.
Peyton really made it either.
I like that I disappear and it looks like it's floating in space.
It's also a spaceship, little UFO.
What are we looking at? What have we made?
Who knows?
Galaxy
Popcorn with a like a syrupy jelly mixture poured on top of it, so it's slightly purple, and some hundreds and thousands sprinkles, and I got this, what was it called, like silver luster that you kind of spray or like puff on.
None of this can be good for us drinking glitter, can it?
We wanted to know like what was happening to all the glitter in the world a couple of years ago. Does anyone remember that? Anyway,
here it is. It's on
Here
our
it is.
snacks. Harry, Millie, did we do anything? Well, Millie made
just
us
made a
snacks.
cup of
I
tea.
cooked them already.
Whoa.
You already did it, and we ate it all.
Yeah.
So
I made a cup of tea. I came home from work. I was like, I can't melt
be
my
doing
popcorn.
this.
I can't be doing. I should have had a bourbon though, because this sounds like we're on now.
Yeah.
Low energy. We're back.
I feel like we should preface that Peyton poured boiling hot Jello onto popcorn, not realizing it was going to melt.
Yeah. Didn't add any of the other ingredients in the recipe.
Yeah. If any of you are going to make it and you haven't done it yet, please don't just mix water with the jelly as the
No one's going to make
instructions.
anything because the recipe is totally different.
Because
I made it and I went,
we
we can't give this to people to make at home, and I changed the recipe a lot. And I just
Millie.
said buy a bag of rainbow popcorn.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Instead of
done
pouring
that.
the jelly on it.
A uniquely Peytonist mistake. Okay, so no one's going to do it.
But having said that, that's a good segue into our book, because I'm sure it's not uniquely Peyton. I'm sure in other dimensions there are other Peytons making the exact same choice right now. So our book of the month was Alison Evans. Oh, you can't see it when I've got my background up. Ida by Alison Evans. Now, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, we did actually get to interview Alison. So we started talking about the book last week, but we're really going to dive in this week. And I really enjoyed this. It's a YA book, but really crossover. Like I feel like it's
finding that with all our YAs.
Yeah.
They're reading very crossover.
Why do you think that is? Do you think we have a reductive? Maybe I have a reductive idea of what YA is.
I think maybe it's just proving that the conversations we were having about YA are true, which is that no one kind of really knows what it is. YA is totally vibes based.
And this one has a lot of vibes. So, does someone want to describe the plot?
The premise of it is that she starts to meet her doppelgangers. So she believes she can manipulate time and go back in time so that every time she makes a mistake or drops a plate or whatever, she goes back and she changes what she does. So she's fixed the mistake. So she feels, she's living the best possible timeline of all the timelines. But then she starts to see these doppelgangers appear around her and she starts getting sort of pushed out of the timelines that she's chosen. And you discover, spoilers, but it's book club, you discover that she's not actually manipulating time. Every time she goes back to change a choice, she's actually breaking off into completely different universes based on if that choice had been different. And she's actually been pushing out other versions of herself from their own alternate dimensions. And things get crazy.
Yeah, it degenerates. It took me a while to kind of catch on what was happening, I have to admit. And this is my fault because I was marking, so I was jumping in and out of manuscripts and undergraduate work and the novel, and I'd come back to the novel and I'd be like, hold on a minute, is it time travel, alternate universe? Are these like how? And then I was like, because there is some suggestion that it's almost like every time she makes a choice, she's creating the alternate universes, right?
Yep.
So it's like an infinite creation of universes.
Yeah, because there's this feeling that happens. And like, just to preface, I'm hoping most people have read the book by now when it comes to our book clubs, but it is happening so often. Like sometimes it's happening like five to 10 times a day.
I kind of loved that about her. Like there's a scene at the beginning where she's driving home from work and she almost gets in a car accident, right? Which becomes really important to the plot. But she almost dies and then she wills herself what she thinks is back in time. And you're like, well, that makes total sense. But then sometimes it's tiny. It's like she spilled a cup of tea or she said the wrong thing. She says something. She's like, oh, I regret saying that. And so she just puts herself back 5 minutes. And I related to that a lot. That's probably where I'd use it the most is like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Just the little things.
For sure.
I also think that it's like, I understand being slightly confused about the premise, even if you're like just sitting down to read the whole thing, because it's so fast paced that you are like, oh my Lord, like what's happening? And then you're like, you're back. And then it kind of seems like you're still forward because sometimes the same things are going on in and around, or they're completely different. So I think it adds, and I think it's purposeful. It's added all in to create this idea that I'm also going with Ida every time she does this, and I'm landing just as fucking confused as she is.
I think
it's kind of brilliant.
So surreal. I was going to ask you guys about this. One thing that struck me as I read it was like that sense of like incredibly breathlessly tight pace, and it's in fragments by the end where she's skipping around, but on a really domestic scale. Like there's a lot of being in the kitchen making tea, talking to her dad and Frank, her cousin, and her partner Daisy, and it's just very domestic. It's like her kitchen, her shower, her car, her bathroom, where she works. Like it's
the shed where she works. There's a lot less traveling, and even when they're in like big open spaces, or when she's gone somewhere with when they've gone somewhere with Daisy, it's like one room, one moment in time.
It's really small.
One painting.
I feel like this connects to like off pod, we have spoken about the mixed reviews, and I was having a look through them, and one of the things, I feel like people's expectations were for a pretty wild, plotty sci-fi, super
the
sci-fi.
cover might be to blame for that, because the cover, that's why we've got our backgrounds, but it makes it look like it's in space.
But it's really a character study, and so I feel like the domestic sphere is so it makes perfect sense when you're reading it, because it really is just all about her sense of her self-esteem and how she feels about herself, and how all of that connects to the people that she loves, her partner, her dad, and her cousin. It's a cousin, isn't it?
Cousin.
Yeah.
And you never get the full story about him, and like you never quite find out why he's there, but there's a sense he knows what's going on. There's like this slyness to Frank where I was like, you could almost read like he knows things are going on.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
He's a wily little guy.
Wily little guy. But I agree,
Who
like
loves
the
watching
foundation
gay
of
elves?
it at the start, like making sure it's so grounded in the domestic and the personal means that later, so some other characters get introduced who seem to be part of some kind of task force or group that like keep track of other people who can shift it through these dimensions, and you learn that some people can change their choices in time. It's just not what Ida's doing. But when they introduce that, you do get that sense of like, oh, it's about to become like a full-blown sci-fi. They've got this task force. This person is chasing Ida down. But then because you've been so grounded in that personal already, even though you know there must be some kind of world-ending stakes, you never really feel past that because you're so worried about Ida and where Ida is and how Ida's going to get home, because it turns out she's so far away from her like original universe. You're so worried. You're just like, how is she going to get back? Even though technically those world-ending stakes are floating around there in the plot, I just didn't really think about it so much. I was like, well, how's Ida going to get home?
I just want Ida to be okay and to be okay with being imperfect and like
and I want Daisy to be back, and I want the painting by the window. Like, please. Because I cried in this book. I think I said this when we did an in-person recording the other day, that I was like, I cried at multiple points throughout this book because I thought it was so beautiful. I love the pacing. I'll never stop talking about that because I honestly think it was so easy to read. It was like a sit down, smash through the whole book, and then go back to your favorite parts to be like, oh, okay, right. And yeah, just I cried with Daisy and Ida because I just thought that they were such an amazing couple. There was this very like soft semblance of just understanding one another, but also being real with one another at every given moment.
There's also this amazing sense of wonder I thought that Ida has about Daisy. Like, and Daisy's clearly got like a lot of complicated stuff going on with their dad and their family, and is clearly quite pained, but the way they give each other space, so, they don't, she doesn't make Daisy talk about their trauma, and they kind of care for each other. Like, here, have a shower, I'll bring you a cup of tea, sit in bed, I'll look after you. That there's a kind of wonder in the other person and a kind of care that was so beautiful.
I was going to say that one scene where they make tea with the kettle, with the teapot, I should say, and they go outside and just kind of exist in each other's presence was the most like, reading romance all the time, it's like one of those moments where I was like, this feels like a couple who would exist together all the time, and I felt comfortable in each other's like company, and I was like, wow, this feels like a real couple as opposed to just a couple in a book, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
I agree.
And
the way they talk is to each other is so, I don't know, like, I don't want to use the word real and authentic all the time because you're always like, what is it? But you're right. It feels
realist.
like
It's
this
very
is a
realist.
conversation that somebody would have. And like comes home after, I think they pick Daisy up from the bus stop or something like that when they've arrived back in a version that has Daisy. And then they go and pick up the things from Daisy's house because they're having all those problems with their family. And Daisy just says, I don't want to talk about it. I'm so flat right now. I don't have anything that I really feel like. I'm just going to go shower. And Ida's not like, oh, how grumpy. It's like, okay, no worries. What can I do for you? It's not like there was no miscommunication plot. No. Like, they would put it right there. It would be right in that moment.
Because I think the relationship is never the drama, right?
I was going to say, what's just struck me is that in a lot of other novels, that would be the whole point of the book. That would be the problem. Whereas they never really make it the problem. The fact that they've got shit going on. It's just that is an accepted part of life, is that you've got shit going on. It's not going to make or break you.
Because those scenes are kind of used as a sleight of hand too, I think. Like the making the tea is actually the moment where Ida finds the key that becomes really important to the plot. But we as a reader don't even notice it because you're so invested in Daisy and Ida that it doesn't even, like in a normal kind of pacey sci-fi kind of book, you would be like, oh, that's going to be important later. It's just like I completely
I feel so bad because I did notice the key.
I did not.
I noticed the key.
Okay.
No one puts a random
was...
key, and it doesn't mean.
But there are moments in the book where it is like that, like the apple. You like
Also,
but there
the
are
tea
other
stains
things
too.
like
That would piss me off.
But the face cloth pops up a lot too, and it's not until the mother appears that you're like, oh, okay, that has meaning too. Like all these little objects are connected to people that she either has or misses. It's very
the bit with the mum made me cry. That was the bit where I cried when because she encounters so in the book her mum is dead, and then she encounters a universe where she has a little brother, so she knows her mum's alive, but she doesn't see her mum. And then towards the end, that's how she realizes she's gotten so far away from her original like universes because she's not expecting it, which is the worst. And she like walks through the door or something and runs into her mum. And I just started bawling because I was so upset about it. And that's how she knows. She's like, oh, you know, I've been into all these when she realizes she's going through universes and not time. She's like, I've been through all these universes and like my mum has only been alive in like 5% of them. I just like really felt that. I was like, that's so sad. Oh my God. It's really all about connections, isn't it? It's really about
and about ordinary life.
That's how she noticed, you know, she's like, yeah, there's things out of place. Obviously, sometimes objects are in different places or whatever, but it's really when she talks to people, like when she talks to her dad and her dad is angry at her for some reason, she's like, oh, I'm not in the right place. And then when, you know, when Frank isn't quite right and when she doesn't know Daisy and
when people aren't doing well, like, you know, she often goes back and the house is dirtier and the cupboards are empty and they're just struggling. Like there's
no food in the fridge.
Yeah. And then there are those moments, I think, where the book is really kind of landing on that moment where you see your life and you're grateful for it. You're like, okay, I've been thinking about all of this is a problem. But actually the minute, you know, something big and dramatic happens, you're like, I just want to go back to yesterday where it's just all the same and it will be perfect.
I've got this quote, this line that I took because I was just started taking photos when I was just sitting in bed, just of pages where I was like, this is so beautiful. And the last photo I take is from page 239, where she says, it's time I tell myself, breathing in, the life I built that has no mother but has my father, Frank, Daisy, and Pilgrim, even George, my job that I don't like, my boss I hate, everything. And I'm like, that's such a nice way to summarize the idea of like, yeah, it's not perfect, but like it is definitely where I'm supposed to be. And you're like, oh, there's such an overwhelming sense of that, especially toward the end, because I remember flicking through this being like, and where is Daisy? Are we getting there? And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Final line.
Yeah, I'm like, still love the book.
I'm getting distracted.
So beautiful.
I'm getting distracted by Abby disappearing into
her green haze.
I keep like melting into the green, which is kind of on theme, but I am going to go turn a light on.
The other thing I thought was the kind of concentration on the small things that give you the value, like the view out of her window and the cat coming in the window. Like they're so minuscule and so important.
The warmth of the bedroom too, like when the window smashes and then it's like, oh, suddenly it's so cold in here. And it's like that, like the blessing of the idea of just that thin pane of glass that's actually keeping out so much extra discomfort that they couldn't deal with. And I'm like, oh, like,
there
so
she
pretty.
is.
Hey, you're in the light. Now you look like you're haloed.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Millie brought it up, but to go back to like Damaris and is it Adrastos?
Adramus? Yeah.
Adrastos?
I had no idea how to pronounce them.
They're like the agents. So one of them is like the boss and the other one's an agent who's been sent to find Ida and can also travel between universes and is so far from her original universe that she can safely travel. But they were kind of odd. I have to say those chapters, I mean, this is why it actually makes me think it's much more literary than I've read in YA for a while. Like it's quite a literary fiction because it does ambiguity really well. It does these like little moments that happen and you're like, oh, that doesn't connect neatly to anything. Like the way they pop up and they don't really have much of an arc. And then they just at the end are like, let's just go on holiday together.
Yeah.
Their last chapter before everything is resolved is like, right, let's just go on holiday, and they go off.
I would love to interrogate that, Amy, because that feels very sci-fi to me.
Does
that feels very science fiction because you know that they're going to be linked. They obviously have a reason that they're in the story. And so there was never a point where I was like, oh, this is so weird. Why do we have I was surprised to see a second plot line. Like I didn't expect that, but I was like, yep. It the whole way through it felt completely sci-fi to me.
In our conversation with Alison, they spoke about having a second novel written for those characters, and it didn't feel like they could have a full plot line of their own.
Yeah, they're very intriguing. The
That would be cool,
juxtaposition of the different stories kind of reminded me of Patrick Ness's book, The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which is about, normally it's the people who are in the sci-fi action, the fantasy action, who are the central figures of the story. But in that story, you're following the side characters, and they're just very, very normal, very, very, very normal. They're not powerful. They don't fight battles or anything. But in the background, you see these guys like fighting creatures or whatever. I can't even remember what happens, but you just see them do all of the main character fantasy stuff.
Because there is obviously the suggestion, which I feel like I would love to see a series. There is a suggestion Ida is going to end up working for them one day.
Yeah.
And she does think about it when she meets
because part of
Iris
struggles is the workforce, right? And
what role they
but also there's something so great, again, that is a good moment, because she's like, oh well, I might send us some information, and he's like, oh okay, she's like, yeah, not yet though, we'll just let us sort some stuff out, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, this is such like a matter of fact, like, well, this isn't a problem for right now.
I was gonna ask you guys,
love it.
What do you think Ida does in the meantime, because she's not able to join that organization yet because she still has some things to figure out, I guess. But do you think she accepts her, what's it called, the industry that she's in? Hospitality.
Being a barista. She'd just be happy being a barista for a bit.
Yeah, her perspective on it has probably changed.
Maybe. Yeah, because really, here's a question for you, is the book really about taking the time to get comfortable with yourself and know yourself before you have to make those decisions?
I think it's definitely partly that.
Yeah. There's
and
something
then,
about
she says
enjoying the present.
Her shifting becomes almost subconscious. Like she's not even consciously doing it anymore. Just anytime something happens, she's like, oh, change that decision. So she's not even thinking about the choices that she's making anymore.
Or dealing with the consequences.
Yeah, or dealing with the consequences. So this makes her stop and actually think about choices before she changes them or makes them initially.
I feel like this probably gives away one of the book club questions that I had for later. Maybe we should do them sooner rather than later so that we don't accidentally answer all of them.
Before we do, I would say a thing, but then I want to go back and ask Millie about something.
I was just going to say that for me, I feel like the book is largely about perfectionism and escapism and
anxiety.
Anxiety. I got anxiety.
Having really, really high expectations of yourself to the point where you can't tolerate discomfort of any kind.
Because mistakes too,
exactly.
Anxiety, because that is totally how anxiety feels, right? Like everything is high stakes. Everything is, you might do it wrong. I was going to ask Millie to go back. I want to go back since it's Sci-Fi Month and ask you about that sci-fi thing about genre, because I have not read a lot of sci-fi for 20 years or more, really, and about those genre expectations. So clearly then, if this is more familiar, it's about the worlds being so large that you get glimpses of things, but you don't have to go into it all. Is that how that functions, do you think?
Can you word your question in a different way?
The way those two characters appear, but they don't have like a major thread. And you do have moments where you're aware of they've got this cosmic storyline that's really big and crosses over multiple universes, but you just get the tiniest glimpses of them, and you don't really get a lot of the logic, or you don't get their story very much, and their ending is very quick. But do you think in sci-fi there's that sense of these huge storylines playing out in the background?
I think sci-fi tends to be that more often than not. It tends to be more on the grander scale, whereas this is quite personal, because I almost feel like the opposite of what you said. I felt like the inclusion of the other storyline made it sci-fi, not made it sci-fi, but made it more towards normal sci-fi, whereas before that I would have said it was quite literary. In the way that you're talking. And then the idea of like a dimension time-spanning organization that sends out agents to fix up the timelines is so quintessential sci-fi. Yeah. It was almost silly, but not because it's it's so well executed in the book, but I almost was like, oh, this is like, do they have laser guns, you know?
Yeah.
But you're right, like it's not what typical sci-fi does, because what their storyline does is give you glimpses into the wider world and the wider range of like the dimensions and time without fully pulling you into that plot line, which is really interesting. And it is very different to, I think, what sci-fi usually does.
Yeah, because
not all the time. I don't want to overgeneralize.
That feels literary to me, because I think in a lot of literary fiction you can get these glimpses of storylines that never resolve, that never kind of appear fully. They're just like hanging threads.
I liked that it was two people, though, I will admit. I think having two, like a boss who didn't even seem that great of a boss, to be honest. And then Demaris, I don't even know.
Demaris
and Adrastos. I was like, how do I say this? Yeah, I think having two people made it feel different to me, and I agree with Millie. I think it lent more to the sci-fi-esque. Like, it's kind of campy. Like the conversations they have with after Demaris fails to talk to Ida, and then they're like, well, what'd you say? And she's like, I went up and said hello, okay? And they're like, yeah, big fail. Like, that was awful. Yeah. And it's just kind of this like fun on the go, like slightly like comedic, but mainly just two people trying to work their shit out. This has gone wrong. We're just at work.
Kind of just flirting with each other, really.
Yeah. And then flirting. Going off on a saucy holiday.
It did
there was this campy attitude to it.
Yeah, it did bring a bit of like light to certain parts of the book are quite not dark, but like just depressing, like points that Ida gets to, and like scary. Like I felt quite scared for Ida, and then you'd flip over to these two having a conversation about whatever it is, and you're like, oh, okay, all right. You get a little bit of breath between the very serious Ida scenes.
Yeah, and because it's YA, you do feel like the grown-ups are in the room. That it's okay.
I was going to say, it gives you a bit of safety. That's at least someone out there is looking out for Ida and knows what is actually going on with Ida.
Ida feels very alone, but you know that Demaris is constantly running after her and trying to help her. Yeah, definitely.
What a job, by the way.
I know. I know.
Oh my God.
But also you get the sense that if Ida did that job, she'd be really good at it, because you see the way she cares for people and is responsive to people. And Ida doesn't, for all the switching, doesn't actually just charge in. She's very thoughtful and careful about stuff. So you can kind of see where she will fit eventually.
I also have to imagine the job is not always that hard, because it does seem to imply that I'm like one of their worst cases ever.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Demaris, like 500 years I've been doing this. 500 years. Where is there is just this light, the light attitude I think really does balance out how awful what Ida's going through is. And they gave full camp to me with the both of them. Like, the way she approached in the museum, like uncertain about what to do, is so funny to me. She's like appears and
the way she just straight up walks up and is like, don't panic. And you're like,
God, don't say that.
You're like, I need you to come with me. Oh, damn it, she ran away.
Well, while we're talking about that scene, I loved that it was set in Melbourne, and I loved that you could recognize the Tiffany ceiling at the NGV, and like that scene playing out over and over again where they're lying under the glass is just such a kind of Melbourne experience, and Flinders Street Station, and you just got such a sense of the place, which I think added to it as well.
All the public transport, Adelaide could never.
Yeah.
It also made the doppelganger scary, I will admit, because the doppelganger sitting at the station, I was like, I've been there. That would terrify me.
You smile. He sees himself.
I've
all
been
the time,
there.
The doppelgangers were surprisingly scary, because in the beginning it's like, how can a version of myself be scary? And then, the doppelganger sits down next to her at the train station and grins at her. And I was like, oh my God, run.
Especially feeling like you can't really blame them. Like they've become so distorted and evil, but it's literally because of what Ida has done to them. Like she's cast off their timeline. and they're all unfavorable timelines, and they get worse and worse and worse, and some of them are outright dealing with neglect. And
the one where she's in the bedroom after the car accident and she's just got glass and blood in her and stuff, but then there's the doppelganger with the arm hanging down, like who got hurt worse, and then Ida realizes that in multiple universes she died in that car crash and she's kind of killed all those people.
And not only that, but she realizes all these, because she said she's very accident prone and she's very lucky because she's had all these near misses in life, and that's the moment she realizes that is the doppelgangers trying to kill her.
And that every time for that car accident was where people pushing her towards the car to die. Right.
Which is kind of almost counterintuitive, because they're trying to get that version of themselves killed, but in doing so they're creating other versions of themselves who are suffering through the same thing that they are mad about.
And they're so misguided, because like what do they really expect, that they can push Ida out and then take her place? But there are so many of them.
And only some of them are able to travel too, which is really important, because like she's pushing them into other universes and then they're not able to travel back, even though she's clearly not staying in that Ida's universe for very long, because she's changing things 5 times a day, but then they can't shift back. But then the real scary part is the ones that have learned to affect her and make her push and are able to push her out. You're like, ooh, that's so scary.
Also, when the bed went down, the weight on the bed with the doppelganger, I was like, that's it for me.
That's before all of them find out that, you know, in terms of the rules of the multiverse, they would all just die if they killed the dominant timeline.
She's the OG. So you're right. Like, what do they do? You know, they're screwed either way. Like, they either let her keep making these universes and getting pushed out of their homes, or they kill her and then all disappear.
In a way, what they did was kind of the correct thing, which I guess narratively it had to be, but because they made her aware of what she was doing. Being aware is
true.
Kind of come to terms with the life that she was living.
But also, didn't Damaris say, like, because she's talking to Ida, and then Ida gets pushed out, and she's talking to another Ida, and that Ida's like, ha ha ha, we're gonna do it, and then Damaris is like, you idiot, if you kill her, it's just that the next one becomes dominant. So you wouldn't even fix the problem, you would just
you just push it down the chain.
Oh god, I was about to say, so we're siding with the doppelgangers. No, we're not.
Well, kind of siding with it, because that's the thing, is like, they're the doppelgangers, but they're her. They are her.
And really, her journey is to get to a point of self-compassion, right?
And also the thing is that the second when she realizes what's happening, she is so empathetic towards them. She's like, I can't believe I've been like pushing other me's out of their homes and stuff. So it's not like she's like, these evil doppelgangers. She's still scared of them because they're trying to kill her. But she is like, wow, that's really horrible. Actually, this is a terrible thing that I've done.
Yeah, the map in the shed, I was like, oh my God, if I had multiple versions of myself talking to each other, I would be dead long ago. Like, damn. Oh my Lord. That is my worst nightmare. God.
That's a good question. How long do you think it would take you all to figure out what was going on?
Longer than it took Ida.
If I was the OG or if I was a doppelganger?
Well, both.
Oh,
if I was the OG, ages, but doppelgangers, I reckon 10 minutes, and we'd be like, let's kill that fucker.
I feel like pretty soon as as one of the doppelgangers, because the doppelgangers are the ones whose lives are like drastically changing. They're being pushed into a different universe.
Not only that, but they are Ida until the point that they get pushed. So they actually, that's right. She talks about they all have the memory of being able to shift. And then they get shifted out of their universe, and then they can't shift anymore, which would be so terrifying and depressing. Like, not only have you been shifted into a new universe, you have lost a power that you remember having your whole life.
Yeah. And how long, you would have, for the first time ever, have to deal with the consequences of your own actions, and you've never built yourself a toolkit to do that.
A short novel, it raises so many questions.
It's
I guess
so good.
Like the science fiction of it, right? But it does such a good job of it.
Do you want to play your game now, Peyton?
Lily's going to be in charge of the slides. For people who are listening, we have slides, and
it's working. Can you see it?
Pretty much, yes.
The great start.
Thank you so much.
I feel like the one at the far back is a bit terrifying.
Exactly. It's supposed to be like a little bit uncanny. So
we should describe what we're seeing for people listening.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's Amy with her doppelgangers over her shoulder.
And they're all reading the same book.
Yeah. And that book is Ida. By Alison Evans. Pretty much all of these questions, by the way, are Abby's. This first one was Amy's. So the first question is, if you were a ganger, which is shorthand for doppelganger in the Ida universe, slipping through the multiverse, how would you try to get the attention of the dominant you? What would you throw instead of tea-soaked paper?
To explain that, if you haven't read the book, is Ida spills tea all over Slaughterhouse 5, right?
Yeah.
She's reading Slaughterhouse 5.
She gets possessed by a ganger and starts behaving weirdly. That kind of freaked me out, actually. I was like, what are you doing?
That was weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
And then she throws the book at the wall and it stains her paint with tea.
Yeah.
So what would we throw instead of a book, a tea-stained book?
Boiling
Probably just set the cats
jelly.
on them, to be honest, because cats notice these things. They would know these people.
I mean, I'm so autistic. I could just have to move a couple of things out of place. You know, I would just have to put something in its wrong place, and the me would be like, something's wrong.
Yeah, I know what this is.
Yeah.
Stop jumping.
Yeah.
I would play a song that I hate really loudly.
Oh,
that's clever.
That's a good
smart.
idea. That's smart.
Which is literally what Jonathan does to me to annoy me. So
maybe he's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, maybe. Turn around.
I feel like I would just leave a note for myself in my notes app on my phone because I'm in there 24/7 writing stuff down. So that would be really simple.
You're assuming that your OG is benevolent, you know?
Yeah. I would post a really bad photo of myself.
Scrolling back through your own Instagram like, something's wrong.
Yeah. What was that?
You tell me when you want me to.
Something from my wine fridge.
Something from the wine fridge.
Just a kind of wine. So there'd be wine in the fridge that you would never drink.
I don't
What's
drink.
a wine you would never drink, Harry?
I've got a Bone and Willow, I think, from 2015, and that's been there
Vintage.
since 2015 because it was a present. So I would never touch that bottle of wine. I'm not touching it for ages. So yeah, I would move it. I would move that, and then I'd be like, oh my God. I'm in trouble, guys.
Millie, what about? You've already said yours. Everyone said theirs. Okay.
Yeah. I would just move something out of place.
So now on our second slide, we have an image of Millie with their doppelgangers behind them, getting progressively upset
making my signature faces.
And the question is, which past version of you do you think would haunt you? This is another Abby question.
What decisions would you make in order to go back in time if that's what you thought you were doing? And then out of that becomes a new version of yourself, right? So what versions of yourself are haunting you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, mine would be my high school version. So.
I think a lot of people would have that one.
Yeah. It'd be awful. He'd bully me. Say such nasty things.
You know what's interesting? We have to go back to think of times where we made the right decision.
That's what I was just realizing. I was like, wait, I've been thinking about it the wrong way. I got to think of a time that I made right decisions.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know?
Maybe the
So it can't be this podcast.
Well, I'll tell you what mine is moving to, like, one of my right decisions in life is moving to Adelaide. Like, I cannot imagine the versions of me that exist still living in Canberra. Those would definitely come to haunt me, I think, because life is so different in Adelaide. And I've met, not that I think I could have been fine in Canberra, but like I've met all of you guys. I've done my PhD, all that stuff probably wouldn't have happened in Canberra. So yeah, that's a huge swing. That's a huge choice.
That's a great.
I'll do the
answer.
law one then. The person, because I got into law at Flinders Uni, and then 2 weeks before creative writing started, I freaked out and went from Bachelor of Law and International Relations into creative writing. So I'll do the person that was the 2 weeks before picking creative
and
writing.
you regretted that for a couple of years.
Yeah, still regret it now.
There's a corporate Harry somewhere out there.
In really sharp
somewhere out
suits.
Wow, being a barrister.
Not
Getting the wigs.
not a bedazzled hoodie. Talking about gay sci-fi.
Talking about gay sci-fi.
In the same vein, there's a version of myself that dropped out of 3rd year of uni. And that version of myself would haunt me, I think.
Whoa.
For
my
sure.
God. These are all such good answers. The version of me that didn't start driving or didn't get my license.
Oh, yeah, that would have happened
That's
to
a
me
huge
almost
one.
too. Yeah, that would change your life, wouldn't it?
Trying
to think. There's really, really serious ones and then less serious ones.
Do we want to bring it
get
down?
How deep are we
or-
going here?
I know a couple serious ones.
I could do career ones or really hard life ones. Well, at one point I almost went to LA to pursue filmmaking and I didn't. And that would be a very different life. That would have been a whole different life.
Amy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have fit in very well, to be honest.
You wouldn't have
like them. No.
It's not my vibe. But yeah, that was what I almost did.
That's a jump scare, that is.
Oh Lord, they do get progressively
For everyone
scarier.
listening, we've now got new doppelgangers on the screen, and they're Appy's doppelgangers, and 2 of them are holding knives.
Yeah, this is truly gets scary.
I like the way there's just a bit of me hidden between them.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Hiding behind.
These pictures were so perfect. For some people, I had to use the same picture and then try to find a way to tweak it. But these, I was like, no.
It's truly a progression of,
awesome.
Crazy. The crazy eyes get me at the end.
Yeah, my Lord.
This question is kind of similar. What alternate versions of yourself do you think exist? Maybe
So
moments
many.
in time that you could have made a different decision.
Yeah, I'm a lot
So I
older
feel
than
like
you guys, so
all
I feel
of
like I have a lot of them. There's one of me still married to my husband, having a completely different life.
Yeah.
There is one of me still working in weddings and hospitality. One of me still working at the other university I worked at. There's so many different ones.
It's so interesting to think about as well, because like if the version of Amy was still working in weddings, I don't think there's a version of Abby doing this right now.
I know the ripples are crazy.
Yeah,
aren't they?
that's very true.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have done a PhD if you're still working in weddings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither. Amy's
so sorry,
really.
guys.
Oh no,
Amy's the focal point.
Yeah, all
Amy's
of the
focal
different
point.
I am the car crash.
Yeah.
You're the constant.
Well,
if we all need to find each other, if we
The
get
fixed
lost and we
point.
need to find each other, we need to find Amy.
Find Amy.
Amy. And we walk up to her in a museum and say, you have to come with us. And she goes, what the fuck?
And you know how to pick the right one by mentioning things we talk about in Smart Month. Oh. For those of you listening, we've got Harry now in a very sharp suit with some different levels of how much gin you've had, maybe?
Yeah.
I love that
The
in all the
face
other
stat
versions.
one.
The middle one. You look like you're in like a new wave band.
I like that in all of the other versions, like everyone gets progressively like more concerned or murderous.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm in the military.
Harry
That one on the
he's
right.
having more fun.
Yeah.
So this question is, do you think it's harder to make mistakes and be imperfect today in the age of social media than it used to be?
Definitely.
I think it's more
And not in the
shame.
way that people say where they're like, you can't just say anything anymore. I don't mean it like that.
No, because people
But
do.
Because
They do say everything.
people say whatever they want, and but I think it's harder to, I think especially as when you're young, it's harder to learn how to be a person and how, learning who you are when everything is recorded and
there's a big conversation about cringe culture right now, and that's sort of what I was thinking about when I was thinking of this question, because I go to a bunch of concerts and all different age groups will be in the audience, because there are some bands that I listen to and I think most of their audience is middle-aged, and then other bands I listen to and go see whose audience is teenage to 20s, and the differences in the crowd behavior fascinates me so much. It's always the younger people who get more and more conservative in the way that they enjoy themselves and express themselves. Young people just don't dance or
sing. I read club
jump.
culture's dying out a bit because people are not dancing, and I think the ones that are taking off are the with silent discos, right? Because people can't take their phones in there, and you kind of are protected by being in your own little bubble while you're dancing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read like public dancing is dying out because people are so terrified of being filmed. Fair. I wouldn't do it if you were filming me.
The line dancing, which is still
that
booming.
Has rules. That has rules. That's
Choreography.
not like that's like
choreography.
you're following the crowd, and so no one's judging you for dancing badly.
And as a silent disco goer, as someone who would not dance in a club and hates dancing,
you go to silent discos?
Yeah, I love a silent disco. I go.
Hey, take us.
Have you seen there's one in the cathedral? We all need to do that.
I would love to. The silent discos I go to walk around the city. They're like during the Fringe, and they're not even in a set location. You put them on and you walk around the city and the street.
So you're definitely getting filmed doing that.
Yeah, which is arguably embarrassing, right? Because you're dancing in places that aren't made for dancing.
Oh, okay. I was confused when you said walking. I was like, wait, are you still dancing? I'm so confused.
Yeah, you're dancing. But there's something about
moonwalking.
The having the headphones on that I will dance at those, and I'm not a dancer, so
yeah, right. That's fascinating.
I need to see this.
Yeah, I think we need to.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I do not like silent discos because I do like to dance when I go out. So it doesn't bother me if I'm dancing around, but I'm usually in a very safe space that is like, you know, like where I know lots of people and I feel safe in that area to just dance around. So it doesn't bother me. Silent discos terrify me because I'm worried more about the outside and like where I'm dancing than what I'm dancing to. So like I'll dance in a club, but like I don't want to dance on the street. That scares me.
But
not all the silent discos are.
We'll put ourselves out to be judged on this show.
Yeah, that's so true.
I also know.
Think, you go, Peyton.
I was just gonna say, I also know that my voice projects really far, and so if I'm singing along to something, but it's meant to be silent. Like how do I stop myself?
No one can hear you, Peyton. They've got their headphones on.
It's so funny when you take the headphones off for a second and everyone's singing and you're like, okay.
So you get all the heavy footsteps.
That's what the street is hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Passers-by could hear it.
Which you don't care. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't
love
care
that.
once those headphones are on. Yeah.
That's so I feel that free at concerts because everyone is just watching the people on stage.
Yeah, I agree.
Dark and you're anonymous.
We're not meant to be dancing together, but that's why it's so interesting to me when people don't dance. I'm like, this is the best place to do it. No one cares what you're doing.
I think the cringe culture is a bit sad. Like, I think this is a really powerful question, actually, because, I mean, what the book is kind of circling is that you have to make mistakes. So how do you ever live if you're not making mistakes? And also, a lot of them are tiny mistakes. So you're a bit embarrassing. Who cares? Like, really?
I agree. I think and like I'm only about to turn 26. I'm not old. But I think
I don't know.
The time is running out, Harry. The collagen is fading.
Done. Yeah. I drink that. No, I'm joking. I think when I look back at what I was like when I was like 16 to 20, I was so much more easily embarrassed than I am now.
Oh, that is
and now
for teens.
And now I just don't like. I think it's harder to make mistakes and like be imperfect, but also I think you have to agree to be humiliated and you have to agree to be embarrassed. And so now I'm just like, I've made such a dumb decision. And then I'm like, but you know what? Who gives a shit?
Most people aren't watching. The problem is, though, with internet culture is the shame culture. The shame culture. There's actually people who seek out public shame, who try to publicly shame others. And I think when you're a teenager, you're too vulnerable to that. Like you get older and you're like, okay. But I think it's hard enough for adults, but as a teen, like when people are coming at you and you don't even know them and they're trying to shame you, it would be so easy.
No, and you don't even know yourself yet. Not that all adults do, but you Like that for me, that was the best thing about turning 30. It was like finally I could just be like, I don't care. I actually don't care. I really
just
don't
wait.
care.
It gets better. It gets better and
I'm
better and better.
excited. Like I'm keen for it. I really,
it gets
that thing
so
about
good.
aging. I'm like, I don't care. Hey, this year I'm 34, and this year I'll be 35, and I'll be even more excited about that because there is an element of just going, oh, I actually just don't have the time or energy to care about any of that other crap. But
I think it was one of you guys
don't have
that
that. Like
said
you don't
that,
have that yet. You don't have that sense of self yet. So
I saw Noel Fielding live around his 40th birthday, and he was so funny because he said your 20s are kind of working out who am I. Your 30s are like, this is who I am. And then in your 40s, you're like, I don't fucking care. I am who I am. Like, I don't care what you think.
That's perfect.
I know. I can't wait for that.
I love
really
that.
can't because I'm like, I feel this second half of the 20s being different to the first.
I mean, partly it's you just can't compete, Harry, because you lose all your collagen, everything sags, you lose your hair. You're just like, you won't be able to compete, so you give up.
Yeah. Wow, so positive.
I feel like you're speaking Harry's nightmare.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to, prepare him for the inevitable horror.
I'm so sad to move off this slide of Harry's beautiful sleek suit.
Wave him goodbye.
Yeah, because this might be the last time you see me like that. Now that it's sagging.
Justina had to send me a picture of her frowning so that I could superimpose it over a picture of her smiling.
Because Justina is not with us today because Justina is unwell.
Yeah.
So we're sending her our love.
She probably feels like the frowny Justina right now.
I do love the bottle of gin that is in Justina's hand. So the first version is happy because it's got a cocktail and a bottle of gin.
So this one, there is another version of this question, which is I like it actually, and I couldn't think of a way to work the second half of it into a different slide. So Abby asked the question, where do you begin and end? Where is the sympathy for yourself? Because I think Amy touched on it a little while ago, how important that is to this story, is having compassion for yourself. And then the other question that I had was, where do you begin and end? How does Ida disrupt the notion of a single constant identity? Anyway, I'll leave that with you guys. What do you think?
We've gone deep.
That's interesting. I don't think there is a beginning or really an end to how you can view yourself. But I think the idea of a person disrupting like a single constant identity reality, I think is evident with what we said before about Amy and being like, if it wasn't for this person at this point in time, then this wouldn't have happened. And then I'm sure that there are countless moments between that moment and us all deciding to go along this current path that each one of us have played a part in keeping each other on the path that's led us here.
Yeah,
yeah,
in the novel, when Daisy's not in the timeline, but the universe that Ida is in, it's kind of often it's implied that either they did have some sort of connection at some point and they no longer have it anymore, or Daisy was never in Ida's life in the first place,
or Daisy might have passed away.
Yes,
or past, yeah.
Kind of get that.
Don't talk to me.
Well.
Yeah.
The one that really creeped me out was when she arrives in her house and her cat doesn't know her. And you're like, oh, she's not alive in this timeline. That was really powerful. That gave me goosebumps.
Because we know there have to be universes where she's not alive because she's avoided death a couple of times.
But I think Ida doesn't disrupt a reality just by herself, because her dad disrupts the reality of Frank. Frank disrupts the reality of Ida, but it's just where they are. And
so you kind of talk about entanglement.
First draft. Yeah, like it's so much more complex. If we were just to sit and read each reality for what it was, I'm sure we'd find some really fascinating little and on a reread, that's 100% what I intend to do, is go through and be like, so what's about this reality that if you take Ida out of it is also incredibly different? I think that would be all of ours.
I wish we'd asked Alison about the research, whether they'd done research into quantum physics and stuff, because I know Millie's going to tell me everything that I'm thinking is probably wrong. It's like I am so unscientific, and you're often like, that's not very scientific. But I feel like
I'm not in my household. I'm not the scientific one.
But around
that's a crazy
us,
thing
you
you've just
really
said.
are.
I can't believe
I feel like Lily's more
Hold on.
likely to
Stamp
say
that.
that.
Stamp that.
Give me a second. I have to universe shift. Hold on.
No, well, just that idea of the idea that multiple universes are happening at once, and perception that it might just be perception that we're kind of here and now. But that I really love the idea of entanglement too, and what you're saying about us all affecting each other. It's that what I love about the book is that every tiny, tiny choice has ripples through the entanglements, right? Everyone is interlocked.
Yeah.
Every choice you make, no matter how small, whether it's about boiling a cup of tea, creates all these changes in everyone. So that idea of it really does disrupt this notion of identity, because it's actually your minute by minute choices that constructs your identity.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking about, like, how does the book disrupt the notion of a single constant identity? I feel like it gives me a really positive feeling, actually, that you're not constant and that you can be so many different people, even within
I think you could
one
argue this both
timeline.
ways, though. As you're talking, I'm like, I'm also like, you could argue she's actually quite constant.
Okay, because I was about to.
She is.
I was about to ask that we just
almost.
Yeah, I was about to ask that we just pause in the podcast and take a moment to say that I've just said something that was actually worthwhile, and then Peyton's just flipped the fucking script.
No, I just mean, like, there are so many potential versions of you, even in the years to come in all of our lives. There are so many directions we could go in, and that can be really intimidating. But, like, think of Harry choosing to do this instead of Law. Somewhere out there is a completely different human being who is living a completely different life. And I really, it's sad in the context of this novel. A lot of their lives are quite horrible, but I like thinking, as someone who is just one person and who is going to live this timeline for the rest of my life and who will have no idea what the other timelines could be. I like that I can become different people and just start making different sorts of choices if I decide I want to be different. You know what I mean?
That's kind of almost the core of the end of the book, is that because she has to stop shifting, at least for a while, and at least like within her own universe or whatever it is that Damaris talks about, there is a kind of comfort to the idea that, like, you are one person and there aren't alternate realities, and the trick of it is actually just to make good with the choices that you do make in this universe. To me, that is comforting to me, which is like, well, I can't split off into multiple universes, but I probably can deal with the choices I make in this one. But it's interesting that we've gotten those different perspectives out of the same book.
Yeah.
How cool. So for our final slide,
I don't know how to
should look up on the
describe
YouTube if you are only listening. Maybe we could put it on the Instagram. Because it's amazing.
It is amazing. This has to go on the Instagram.
Peyton's face photoshopped onto various figures. Peyton, would you like to list them?
What is the bottom right-hand corner?
Me pregnant with a frog.
Obviously, Harry. Obviously.
Me as... I don't even know. Me hobby horsing.
I love that.
Is that the robot?
Yeah, C-3PO.
You with the Sacred Heart Jesus.
Yeah.
You as Jesus?
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot
going on.
You got great eye makeup in all of them.
I said this off pod in our group chat, but I found it really amusing that the different versions of the rest of the podcast are the same, just a little bit weirder. And the different versions of Peyton exist in different, like,
universes.
They're so far from each other on the map.
It's like in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and eventually you meet sausage fingers,
Yeah.
Like,
In one universe, you're a rock.
I've pulled from the most distant Peyton timelines.
Wow.
I love
the one where you got the Death Star plans. Yeah. You contributed to the downfall of the Empire in one timeline.
Okay, I don't even remember what the question is. What do you think you would miss most from your current timeline if you were dragged, possibly unwillingly, into the life another version of yourself was living? And
I think the answer is this podcast, obviously.
That's true.
Certainly not mine. No.
Harry's living in the dark timeline where this podcast is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Push me out, for the life of God.
And then of the things that we would miss, do we think we appreciate those things enough at the moment, or do we take them for granted?
For granted.
I mean, it depends, right? Because in the book, you would be getting into you'd be getting dragged into a universe that was almost the same, except for one. You didn't drop the teapot. So in that sense, there's not so much difference, unless you were one of the ones that get pushed out after a really, really bad decision.
Yeah.
Because, there's a universe where we didn't adopt Leto and
Oh my
Ganima
god.
because they were on Gumtree, and we kind of ummed and ahed about it, and we were like, well, we'll rescue them and maybe we'll adopt them out after, So there's a universe where Leto's not sitting on my chair right now, and I would miss that terribly. As much of a menace as he is.
Yeah, universe without my cat
so confused.
would hurt.
That's so true.
I think if I got pushed out of one, though, and then had to log into a podcast episode and realize that a version of me had been sitting here having these conversations and my previous one hadn't, I'd be like, the fuck? This is fun. Like, I want this.
You're running a law case and you get pushed into this, and
no. Or he might be pushed into one where he's running a podcast interviewing elves or something. He's like, this one is way better.
Yeah, this is so true. Yeah.
You get pushed into a universe where you just didn't read the book for the book club, and you're like, no.
Oh, imagine you didn't have any of the memories either.
They're
like
lazy like that, right?
Oh my god.
Well, on that note, we are just about out of time, guys. So any last thoughts we want to share on Ida? No last thoughts. I have to say, I knew nothing about it going into it. Justina recommended it, and it was just a great read. It was such a great read. Highly recommend this one. I fell in love. I think I said it when we interviewed her. It's the same moment Abby mentioned. I fell in love with the book when they made the pot of tea. Like, it sounds so small, but when Ida and Daisy made the pot of tea and lay outside, I was like, I'm all in on this character in this book.
Yeah,
I think this is a big win, I think, for a book club book. I have raved about it, and sometimes I rave about the books we have for our book clubs, and I go, this is a good book. But I think, this year so far, I am absolutely stoked with this book. I was like, couldn't put it down, couldn't stop talking about it.
I read it in an afternoon.
Yeah,
that was so
straight away.
And by the end, I have an ebook, but like that sequence at the end, where she's trying to get home, I was like
faster and
frantically
faster.
like flipping pages, like, oh my god, we have to get the end. So
I know there's a couple
I agree with Harry, like a really well-paced book.
And I kind of miss reading something.
And jumping, and you're like, oh my goodness, are we ever going to get there?
Yeah. And also I feel bad because we didn't talk about the descriptions between the jumping, but they're like, if you've got a copy of this ebook or hard, like paperback, just read them. Like, going back and reading them, they're so beautiful because you're like, oh, this gives you just that little touch of where they're heading, but you just don't know how good or how bad it's going to be until they arrive. And I just think that's brilliant. Like, it's beautiful writing.
Well, next month we have a radical shift for book club because we are moving into July, people, and we're going to be doing zines. So instead of setting you a book of the month, we're going to make our own zines, and we're going to encourage you guys to make your zines, and then it will be kind of show and tell for book club.
Oh, God.
It's going to be great.
This could be the longest book club ever.
I do feel like when I see Peyton's
time
PowerPoints, I'm like, I've got to lift my game for the zine.
Yeah. I can't wait. We have to leave Amy's zine till last.
Oh, it's not going to, I can't live up to this. This is a lot of pressure.
I know. That image of you, Peyton, pregnant with the frog is seared into my mind.
Yeah, my God.
You made that to put on the internet? It doesn't get you, clearly.
I can't remember why I made it. That's the other fun thing about those memes.
So
I'm like, I don't know why I made
these
this.
are old memes that you've made. You didn't make them.
Oh, no.
I thought you made those that PowerPoint slide.
For tonight.
You just went, oh, here's me pregnant with a frog. I'll just
Yeah.
put that in there.
So then
Okay,
is
so-
that crazier or
That's
less crazier?
crazier. That is crazy.
Literally. This is proof that Peyton would never jump from the timeline. She would have no shame. She's like, I'm staged.
I'm comfortable with my choices.
Yeah, no mistakes here. Mm-mm.
In fact, you all need to have a look at all of them. We're going to go through all my timelines and just have a look at everything. On that note,
End to this podcast.
if you're listening and you're not watching, do hop onto YouTube or Instagram and have a look at these slides. They are incredible. Their works
Or
of art.
don't.
And Peyton's meme making is next level. Love it. Anyway, thanks for joining us. It's been a really happy Pride Month. I've had fun with you all for Queer Sci-Fi Month. We're going to have to do more sci-fi because I clearly have not read enough. And we'll see you next month for zines. So see you guys.
Bye.
Amy And is hosted by Amy Matthews, Abby Guy, Peyton Hogan, Justina Ashman, Harry Stewart and Millie Heffernan. This podcast is recorded on Gardenland with music by Anthony Wignall and Mass Wisteria. Our logos and branding are designed by Abby Guy. This episode was edited by Abby Guy.